All right, we're back at the cornfield. Now, we had discussed the corn blowing over as a result of a storm Saturday night, and it is now Tuesday evening. I guess it's probably getting close to 6 o'clock, and it's been hot as hell out here. But anyway, this is the same corn patch. See? And that's Bruce. and see?
It's coming back.
It's rising up. It was flat on the ground Sunday.
Uh-huh.
Now look, see, it's like Lazarus. It's a Lazarus corn up from the grave. Isn't that cool?
It is.
It's not going to stand straight up like it would if it were planted. It's going to have a curvature to it like this. But it's just going to keep going up straight. And I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
We'll keep a look at this and see how it goes, because it's got a ways to go yet. It's in its hyper growth phase right now, where it's got everything it needs. It's got temperature, it's got light, it's got water, it's got nutrients. So it's just gonna go. It's just, you know, it's like a 12-year-old kid. It's just growing, you know, and so we're pleased to see it coming back like that, and I knew it would. But it's not going to be like all nice, straight, tidy rows. So there we are with the corn.
But it is coming back.
Yeah, we can look over here at the tobacco if you want. That's kind of interesting because it's starting to flower right now. I need to top it, and
Ooh, there's thunder.
Did you hear thunder?
I did.
Ooh, I thought it was gas
well,
from
let's
that
go check out
bratwurst
the
and kraut the
tobacco.
other night.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can look at the tobacco if you want, and the tomatoes and everything. Things are moving right along.
Okay.
The tobacco's doing quite well. It's susceptible to insects, especially aphids. But see, it's flowering now. And what you do with the tobacco unless you want seeds, see, they're beautiful.
Oh, they are. Do they smell?
Yeah, they're kind of fragrant too. And I'll cut the top off probably about right here.
Uh-huh.
Now, as you can see these little fellas?
Mm-hmm.
These are suckers. They'll branch out. You snap these off. Because all you want is basically a top with leaves. See, the leaves
are gorgeous.
The leaves are beautiful. I mean, that's a big leaf. And they're sticky. But what we'll do, what we want to do, because they're moving materials that they manufacture with light and water and nutrients from these leaves to this part of the plant. When you top it, that stops growth, and that makes the lateral growth go. So you keep that off. So all you want is just existing leaves, and you keep these suckers pulled off. And it's a job too. I'm glad I don't have too much, because it makes you all sticky and it gives you a buzz from the nicotine, which I kind of like that. But so what you want is them to stop exporting from these leaves, so it's all contained. It makes the leaves thicker and keeps sugars and stuff in there, and that gives you your quality tobacco, which is groovy. You want to look at the tomatoes, love?
Okay.
All right. The tomatoes are doing marvelous. They've been pruned. They've got their third string on. These are third string tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
And look, they also got what we're after. See, they got fruit on them.
Yeah, that's right.
I know. If we wanted to, we could pick a few of these and make us some fried green tomatoes for supper, which is delicious. But this is nice. When it gets up to this height, it's so much easier to string.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for an old man like me who, you know, finds bending over kind of uncomfortable at times. And you can see beyond them the black-eyed peas, which I had mentioned in the earlier video look kind of benign.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're in their hyper-growth phase. You will not see, in about another 3 weeks, you will not see any soil here. You will see a sea of black-eyed peas with those tendrils coming out everywhere. They'll get up in the sunflowers there. They'll get up in the tomatoes here, so I have to go by with my hand pruners and keep them out of the tomatoes, because that creates a situation that is difficult to pick the tomatoes. Plus, it reduces air and light circulation, which creates a habitat for disease. You want the air to go through and the light to get through. It's sanitation, you know. You don't want it. Otherwise, it ends up like an old shoe. You know, your foot in the shoe all the time. You know, you take it out, it's nasty, and we don't want nasty. We want clean. So that's what we're doing here. But I do want to take a minute and show you a couple other things. I want to show you the summer squash and then the string beans, and we'll call it a day. But the main thing I wanted to show you was the Lazarus corn here.
Yeah, it's come back.
Which is arising like the phoenix.
That's right.
That's right. If you ever seen that movie Flight of the Phoenix, get the old one with Jimmy Stewart. It's better than the new one. Anyway.
All right, let's move on.
Okay. Here we are at the summer squash. Now, I'd mentioned that this was a yellow squash in another video, and of course I was completely wrong. It's the UFO squash that gets
Oh, it
white.
is?
Yeah, and it's later. Now, squash has two kind of flowers. It has male flowers, which are these. See, it doesn't have a little squash in there.
Mm-hmm.
They usually bloom first. And then it has female flowers. I don't know if I can find you one, because the white UFO squash is it's a little later than the others. The older folks call them similans, which is kind of cool. I don't see really any female flowers on here. Yeah, there's one. See? See the little UFO squash? And that's the flower. It's going to open up, and it's going to be orange like this. They open in the morning, and then they close up after lunch. So if you have to spray these, spray after lunch when the flowers are closed. That way the bees aren't there, and the bees are friends, and you don't kill the bees. So any kind of spraying you want to do with insecticide on the squash, which you will do, because they do get squash bugs and they get vine borers. So, what was that? Hi, Jim! Anyway, so be mindful of that. Be mindful of what the bees are doing and what the plant's doing, so you don't cause any unnecessary catastrophes. But we'll move down and look at the string beans. That's pretty cool. Well, I found a couple of yellow squash. This one kind of reminds me of our neighbor's bull. But anyway, but this would be good to eat. It's a little bit bigger than I like, but I missed it. You gotta have sharp eyes when you're doing squash. And the plant's nasty. It's got little hairs and little spines on it. It makes you itch, like insulation. But the beans are doing good. These are the purple beans. They're starting to set fruit now. You can see by my fingers, there's a little bean.
Mm-hmm.
And if they get too old, they're has-beens. but anyway, we'll be in here with butts up in the air picking these things.
Yeah, not too long either.
Yeah, believe it or not, there's 2 rows of beans here. They're all growing together, but we'll work our way through it. These are the yellow wax beans. They're very nice, and these are doing real good. I saw some bean beetles on them one time about a couple weeks ago, and I sprayed them, and I haven't seen them back since. You got to keep your eye on those, because they're brown little beetles like a big ladybug.
Oh.
And yeah, and then they're young are what the problem is. They're young are little fuzzies. They're little fuzzy, little squishy things.
Ooh.
Yeah, and they're born hungry. They just eat, and you'll know if you have them because your plants will be defoliated quickly. So first sign of trouble with those, man, get the sprayer out, because you don't take prisoners with those guys, because they're very destructive. And you see our more tomatoes. We got like 43 of them, and they're doing good. I'm real happy. That big rain we got that blew all the corn down has done them a world of good.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting set to make sure Marcy has plenty of cannon lids and everything else, because maybe she just looks at this and she just holds her head and knows that a lot of
what's coming.
Yeah, a lot of activity is on its way.
Anybody that wants to can, hit me up. I'll show you how.
That's right, and you'll see she'll probably make videos about it too. But anyway, that corn blew down there too, but it's coming back. So, you know, the main thing about it was it just looked terrible, and you know, part of having a nice garden is the beauty of it, you know, not so much, you know, not so much the beauty of how you arrange things, but the plants themselves. So that's why you keep weeds out and make it look good, because if it looks good, it'll be productive, because those plants, if they're growing good, they'll be productive. And I say that, and then we get a storm, and 10 minutes of hail turns everything into compost. But you'll have that with this activity. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll do one more corn thing to show you the progress of it. I think it's kind of amazing, and you know, it brings glory to God to see His creations do such things, doesn't it? Anyway, I hope y'all are enjoying your summer and doing good things, and God bless.
And here's the puppies. Have a nice evening.